Hello, welcome to week 17, chapter 9, lesson 6, completing the square. In this week, we are going to practice how to solve quadratic equation using completing the square method. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to solve quadratic equation using completing the square method. So far, you learned different technique of solving quadratic equation, like for example, you learn how to solve quadratic equation by graphing, and also you practice solving equation using factoring, and also you learn how to apply quadratic formula to solve quadratic equation. And also you learn using complete the square method. So more of this lesson is like revision. Now directly we'll proceed to the content of the lesson. In this lesson, we are going to see the key concept uh, that help us to solve quadratic equation using complete the square method, and then we will see how to make a given quadratic expression a complete the square method. That means by finding the value of c using the formula b over 2 the whole square, you can make a given quadratic expression a perfect square trinomial. And directly we'll proceed to solving quadratic equation where the value of a is equal to 1 using complete the square method. Then we are going to write a given quadratic equation in the vertex form. That means in the form of a into x plus h the whole square plus h, where h and k become a vertex of the quadratic expression. So completing the square method is also help us to find the vertex of quadratic function. Then finally we will see solving quadratic equation using complete the square method, where the value of a is different from 1. So this is all about the lesson content. Now let's go to the key concept. So in the key concept, it mainly focuses on the target of writing the given quadratic expression in the form of m squared is equal to n. If you able to solve, if you able to form a given quadratic expression in the form of m squared is equal to n, then it will be easy for you to solve the quadratic equation. Therefore, our target in this lesson will be writing a given quadratic expression in the form of m squared is equal to n using completing the square method. So this is about the key concept. Now let's practice making a given quadratic expression a perfect square trinomial. Problem 1. What is the value of c such that f of x is equal to x squared minus 16x plus c is a perfect square trinomial? As I tried to mention earlier, if the value of c become b over 2 the whole square, then the given quadratic expression become a perfect square trinomial. So in this expression, or in this function, f of x is equal to x squared minus 16x plus c, the value of b is a negative 16. Therefore, you will solve minus 16 over 2 the whole square, which is the value of c. Then simplify the expression. Therefore, the given quadratic expression become a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so the value of b is negative 16, and to make a given quadratic expression perfect square, you have to evaluate b over 2 square. Therefore, c is equal to b over 2 square, and substitute the value of b into this equation. It becomes negative 16 over 2 square. Then simplify the expression, then c becomes 64. Therefore, x squared minus 16x plus 64 is a perfect square trinomial, which is the same as x minus 8 the whole square. So in problem 1, you practice how to find the value of c to make a given quadratic expression a perfect square trinomial. Perfect square trinomial means the expression that can be converted in the form of x minus a square or x plus a the whole square. Now let's go to problem 2. In problem 2, we are going to practice solving quadratic expression using completing the square method. In this problem, the value of a, as you can see, is 1. So problem 1, what are the solutions of x squared minus 14x plus 16 is equal to 0? Here the value of a is 1, the value of b is negative 14, and the value of c is 16. From the very beginning, this equation is not a perfect square trinomial. Therefore, we need to make it a perfect square trinomial. How we can do that one? First, we have to eliminate 16 from the left side. So to do that one, subtract 16 from each side. So therefore, it becomes x squared minus 14x is equal to negative 16. Then x squared minus 14x is a quadratic expression, therefore I have to make it a perfect square. So in order to make it perfect square, what I need to do, I will apply the concept that we practice on problem 1. That means we have to find the value of c. How you find the value of c? By evaluating b over 2 square. Here the value of b is negative 14, therefore evaluate negative 14 over 2 square. But when you add the value of c on the left side, you have to also add on the right side. Why? Because to make the equation balance. Therefore, you have to evaluate this expression. X squared minus 14x plus 14 over 2 square, well, to make it the left side a perfect square expression, and to balance the left and the right side, you have to add 14 over 2 square on both sides. Then simplify the expression, then you will get x squared minus 14x plus 49 is equal to negative 16 plus 49. Then simplify the expression. By the way, x squared minus 14x plus 49 is become perfect square, therefore you can write it as x minus 7 the whole square is equal to 33. Then this equation is written in the form of m squared is equal to n. As I tried to mention earlier, our target is to write the given expression or equation in the form of m squared is equal to n, so it will be easy to solve by eliminating the square. So to eliminate the square, just square root each side, then you'll get x minus 7 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 33. Then this is a linear equation. Remove negative 7 from the left side by adding 7 on each side, then you will get this answer. That means x is equal to 7 plus or minus the square root of 33. You can furtherly you can simplify using calculator, but you can keep it as is. There is no problem. So this problem 2, solving quadratic equation using completing the square method, where the value of a is 1. Let's go to problem 3. Problem 3 is about finding vertex using completing the square method. So in order to find the vertex of a quadratic function, first you have to write the quadratic function in the form of y is equal to a into x minus h squared plus k. So this equation is the vertex form of a quadratic expression. So our target in this problem is to convert the given quadratic expression in the form of y is equal to a into x minus h squared plus k. So find the vertex of y is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 8. So in order to find the vertex, I will try to make x squared plus 6x a perfect square. X squared plus 6x plus 8 is not a perfect square. Therefore, what my focus will be x squared plus 6x, because this is a quadratic expression and I can make any quadratic expression a perfect square trinomial by adding b over 2 square. So our b is 6, so you will evaluate or you will solve 6 over 2 square. So you will add and subtract 6 over 2 square. Why I'm doing this one? Because I don't have to change the equation. So 6 over 2 square minus 6 over 2 square is 0. So I didn't do any change, but it's just I just write it in another form. Why I'm doing this one? Just to make it perfect square. Therefore, x squared plus 6x plus 6 over 2 square become a perfect square. So simplify the expression, then you will get y is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 9 plus 8. Then here x squared plus 6x plus 9 is a perfect square. Therefore, you can write it as a form x plus 3 whole square minus 1. This is it, which means that you convert the given quadratic expression into a vertex form. Because it's written in the vertex form, then you can find h and k, which is the vertex of the quadratic expression. The value of h is -3 and the value of k is -1, therefore the vertex become -3, -1. So we can apply the completing the square method to write and to find the quadratic expression in the vertex form and to find the vertex of a quadratic expression. So this is problem 3. Now let's go to problem 4. Problem 4 is about solving quadratic equation using complete square method where the value of a is different from 1. There's a word problem here. You are planning a flower garden consisting of 3 square plots surrounded by a 1 feet border. The total area of the garden and the border is 100 feet square. What is the side length x of each square plot? So here we have a garden. The area of the garden is given, but the dimension of the garden is not given. So the dimension is written in the form of variable. Therefore, we need to find the value of this variable, which is x. Then we can find the dimension, which is the length and the width. So here, in order to do this one, we have to apply the area formula for the rectangle. Area is given by length times width, and the length is become x plus x plus x plus 2. Therefore, that will be the length. So the length will be 3x plus 2, and the width become x plus 2. So we will apply the FOIL method or the distributive property to multiply these two binomial. Then we'll get 3x squared plus 8x plus 4 is equal to 100. Then let's simplify this expression by dividing each side by 3 just to eliminate 3 or to make the value of a1. So you will get uh, sorry, before we divide it, it's better to remove 4 from the left side. So you'll get 3x squared plus 8x is equal to 96. That means I subtract 4 from each side. Then divide each side by 3 just to make the value of a is equal to 1. Then you will get x squared plus 8 over 3x is equal to 32. Then it will be easy for us to make the expression x squared plus 8 over 3x a perfect square. So how can I make it a perfect square? By adding b over 2 squared on each side of the equation. Our b is 8 over 3, so 8 over 3 divided by 2, it will be 4 over 3. So 4 over 3 square. You will add 4 over 3 square on each side. So 4 over 3 means 16 over 9. Therefore, you will add 16 over 9 on each side. Then you will get x plus 4 over 3 square is equal to 300 or 304 over 9. Here, it will be easy to solve this equation by removing the square, by squaring each side. Then you will get x plus 4 over 3 is equal to plus or minus square root of 304 over 9. Simplify the expression. You can use a calculator finally. You will get x is equal to 4.81 or negative 7.14. So this is all about solving quadratic equation using completing the square method. If you have any question, you can ask me on the live discussion that we are going to discuss on week 17. Uh, but regarding the video, I will stop it here. Thank you very much and goodbye.